for freedom online. Good to see you guys both. Mike Benz, since you're both Mike, we'll start with you. This is an incredibly dangerous moment.
It absolutely is. NATO countries have been trying to get their hands over control over Telegram for many years now. There's only two games in town when it comes to ubiquitous usage of end-to-end encrypted chat, and those are WhatsApp and Telegram, which are both able to simulate the kind of size of a Facebook group to coordinate social movements and political action and even military action, but have the benefit of encrypted chat. But WhatsApp is attached to Facebook, so it's a large surface of attack. So the U.S. government and NATO countries were able to bring Facebook to its knees to effectively neuter much of the protections that WhatsApp used to offer. But Telegram is held out because it's on its own pirate ship, with Pavel being in Dubai, and it is an instrument of U.S. statecraft. We used Telegram as a means to try to overthrow the government of Belarus in 2020, with the State Department funding the street riots and funding all of the owners of the major Telegram channels. 26 U.S. NGOs actually lobbied in 2018 Russia to keep Telegram open when Russia was thinking of banning Telegram. They called it a human rights violation that Russia might censor Telegram, but that was because the State Department and the CIA were backing dissident movements like Alexei Navalny and coordinating street protests using Telegram. So they don't want to kill Telegram. They want to use this prosecution to bring Pavel to his knees so that he turns over the back end, and then they get to use the spycraft in addition to the content moderation. They get all the encrypted communications of everyone in Russia who's using it, which is most of Russia.
That is incredibly interesting. Mike Davis, your thoughts?
Well, it seems like this is pretext to me, because if the French government actually cared about the things that they're accusing Telegram of doing online, why aren't they going after Mark Zuckerberg at Facebook and Instagram? It seems like they're using this Digital Services Act that the EU just recently enacted to shut down free speech around the world. And if Telegram does not submit, like Mike Benz just said, they're going to get crushed.
That's something else. What do you think happens to this? I mean, he's still a young man. He's got a lot of money, and this is, and more importantly, what this says to the rest of the world. I mean, there must be, I would hope, some amount of regret from the French for doing this, because it's terrifying a lot of people in the West.
Well, unfortunately, the main actors that could bring pressure on the French government to let Pavel go are probably the ones who coerced or pressured or at least coordinated with the French doing it in the first place.
Wow.
There is no chance on earth that that French law enforcement made such a geopolitically and geostrategically sensitive move without coordinating, notifying, or working with the U.S. Embassy in Paris. As we speak, the House Foreign Affairs Committee could immediately seek all communications, emails, documents, meeting minutes of everyone from the U.S. Embassy who had any communication with French law enforcement, French intelligence, or French government officials up to and in the moments leading up to that arrest when he stepped off that plane. They said Macron said today they had an in-process judicial investigation that would have been with the U.S. Embassy, but the fact is the State Department, it runs the censorship industry here and around the world. And they have had this long-range plan to get the EU Digital Services Act in motion. I was at the State Department when we were negotiating that. Wow. The fire is coming from inside our house.
I got to leave it there. Mike Benz and Mike Davis, gentlemen, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
They actually want you to think that Trump is scared to debate Kamala Harris.